if it's false. So for example, when you log into Instagram or TikTok, you would have your username and then you would have your password. There would be an if statement behind it. So if the username is, for example, if it's my Instagram, if the username is Dalila with the specified password, and if it is true, then it will let me log into Instagram. So for example, if someone else is trying to get into my account and enter a wrong password, then it will go to the second part of the if statement, which is the else statement. Then it will put me out of the application. So if else statement is normally used in that sort of situation. So this is the syntax or how to write your if statement. If else statement, sorry. So you have if, you open a normal bracket with the condition inside, and then you open a curly bracket, you put your first statement, if this is true, and then you close the bracket. So under this bracket, your statement will be here. And then in the else, it's also the same. You open a curly bracket, and then you run the statement, and then you have another curly bracket. So else is executed once this is not true, once the condition is not true. Okay, for example, if you are trying to find out your grade, you can check using the if statement. So you see here, we have if exam grade is bigger than equals to 90, then it will be classified as an A. And then else, if the exam grade is bigger than or equals to 80, it will be considered as grade B. So this is the function, this is how if else works, and this is also how we can use if else in a program. Okay, before you give me any questions, I will demo this first on App Lab. Okay, so now we will create an if-else statement to find out if a number is either odd or even. So we know that an even number is divisible by 2, and then if we use the modulo, it will return 0. Okay, so even number. So what we do first, we declare a variable. Okay, not this one. We can choose this. It prompts the user for a value and then store it. So we drag this on the workspace. So it's variable X. And then we can do if statement, if else statement on the control here. So if you scroll down, it's the fourth one. We drag this, and then we create the condition. If X modulo by 2 is equals to 0, equals to 0. So this is to find out if the number entered by the user is divisible by 0, we print here. The number is even. And then in the else statement, if the number is not divisible by 2, we say that the number is odd. Okay, so let's try this. We reset and then we run. So for example, we enter a value, a number that is divisible by 2 would be, let's say 12. And then we click OK. And then if we see here in the debug console, the number is even. We can try this again. We reset it again. We run it again, and we enter some number that is not divisible by 2. So for example, 13. We click OK, and then it goes to the else statement saying that the number is odd. So the program goes row by row. In the beginning, you have X is a variable, and then the second line, the if statement checks if the X is divisible by 2, then it will print the number is even. If it is false, it will go to the else clause, and then the number is odd. So that's how if-else works. Okay, if you have any questions, please raise your hand, and then I will try to answer them. Okay. Tolong Aksa. Okay, please, Sonam, you have any question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, your sound is echoing.
Oh. I couldn't understand about the variable.
The variable, okay, what is it that you cannot understand?
I couldn't understand how it works a bit properly.
Sorry?
I couldn't understand how it works.
This is just the same like yesterday. So we have the variable right here, and then this is from, hold on. Okay, so can you see my screen? If you hover here, you can read that prompt the user for a value and then store it. So it prompts the user to enter a value, and then it will be stored in X, rather than we do this. So this is what we did yesterday. We create a variable called Y, and then we store the number 12 in it. In X, so if I play this again, if I run this again, so enter a value, it's here. It's this prompt over here. And then whatever I will enter, it will be stored in X, right? And then it will go to the second line of the program, and then it will check the content of X. Does that answer your question, Sonam? Okay, any other question regarding if else? Okay, Yeshe, can you, okay, what's your question?
Wouldn't the answer be string?
Sorry?
Wouldn't the value be string if you were to put in prompt?
Right here, if you check the prompt, we have 2 prompts. So there's a prompt number, and then there's also a prompt, just normal prompt. In AppLab, it will be considered, if you enter number, it will directly convert into a number.
Thank you.
So you can use, yeah, you can use this one, you can use this one. It's up to you. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, any other question? Okay, jump pad, is that right?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
When you wrote the value, entered the value 13 and like that, how did you enter? Like the first one, the value isn't entered.
Sorry, okay, can you repeat it again? So the first value.
Madam entered the value
Yeah.
13. Yeah. So that's why, like, from where Madam entered the value? I got
Okay.
confused.
Okay. So, okay, look at my screen again. I hope it shows.
Yes, ma'am.
We reset here and then we run it again. Right,
Oh.
there is a dialog box. This
I
is
get
how
it.
we enter the value.
Oh, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Fadia, my console still say the number is odd when I enter 12. What you have to do is that you have to check on your if statement right here. Okay, and then you have to make sure that the equal sign is 2 times. You type it 2 times. Maybe you just typed it 1 time. Okay, I will explain it one more time. I will retype this and then I will explain it to you again, okay? Right, so we can use prompt number or we can use just the normal prompt. So we drag this. So we have, sorry. So we have a variable X where it will store whatever number that you enter, okay? And then we go to control, is right on top of variables. And then you scroll down, we will choose this, the if-else statement. You drag this to your workspace and then you type. If you don't want to type, you can go to math and then choose this. This is modulo operator. It returns the remainder of a division problem. So we drag this and then we place it in the bracket. So if X modulo by 2 and then equals, sorry. And then equals to 0. We go back to variable. We choose this console.log, it will display a message. So if a number is divisible by 2, the remainder will be 0. So if a number like 13, it has a remainder of 1 if we divide it by 2. So we go ahead and then we make another message in the else statement. the number is odd. So how this program works is that it will ask the user, or it will ask you to enter a number or a value. So we can, right here, we enter a number, and then whatever number that you entered, it will be stored in X. And then it goes to the second line of the program in the if statement. So let's say, for example, you entered 10, and then the program will calculate the modulo, or the remainder of 10 divided by 2. So since 10 is divisible by 2, it will go to the next line, which is the third line, and it will print the number is even. Okay. So again, for another example, if you enter the number 11, it will be stored in X. Then it will go to the second line. If X divided by 2 is divisible by 2, so 11, is it divisible by 2? It is not. So it will skip the third line, and it will go directly to the fourth line and the fifth line, since the number is odd. So let's try this again. We click reset, and then we click run. So we enter 10. We click OK. It will print out the number is even. We reset it again. We run it again. And then we will enter a number, 11. We click OK. And then the number is odd. Okay, so any question? Okay, Mr. Dorji, the value number is not constant. So if you use this, it can be any number that you want. Okay, tolong Aksa.
Very good afternoon, Miss Dalila.
Oh, thank you. Is there any question?
Yes, when I went to that first if conditions, you were trying to use a block, but later on you...
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold on. Let me just explain it to you. You
No.
can use that.
Miss, may I complete asking?
Yeah, okay, okay.
First, you use the blocks. We were trying to use the same block, but when it comes to the equality, that equal, you had. I saw you typing just like the way you did, way we do text. So, is there any possibilities where we just drag and drop the blocks only to make that if statement correct?
Okay, I'll try showing you right now.
Without having to use that type that equality signs.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Nim. So what we can do, we go to math. And then I think you have to drag here equality operator. And then in this empty space that I'm showing you, we drag modulo operator. So right here, and then we enter X, and then right here we enter 2, and then right here we enter 0. So we entered the equality operator first, and then we insert the modulo in the empty space. Do I need to repeat that again, Mr. Nim?
Thank you very much. I got the idea. I tried here, but I did in other ways. First, I dropped that modulo operator. Then only on the top of modulo operator, I tried putting the equality operator. So That now I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, okay. Okay, Ken, what's your question? Okay, let me see. Okay, Jigme, Pema, can we enter any number in the question box? Yes. Yeah, it doesn't matter. When I tried, okay, don't see. When I tried to put other number than 2, it doesn't work. Okay, maybe you put 1 equal. So make sure it's 2 equal, like this right here, using the equality operator. Okay, jump pad, is that right? Okay, any other question? Okay, Changangka. Oh, boleh, siapa aja? Tashi, what's your question? Okay. Okay, Ugian, yes, we do have an assignment today. I will let you know right after this, okay? Okay, Changangka, is the if statement only for numbers? No. It can also be for string, it can be for anything, really. But I'm showing you numbers because it's the easiest example, okay? Right, so the homework, tolong ganti terus ya. Okay, so the homework is something similar to what we have done. My assistant will change the question for you. So it's to create a prompt where it receives a number from the user, and then you have the if-else statement that checks if the number is divisible by 3. So previously, the number was divisible by 2, and then now we should check if the number is divisible by 3. Okay, Tashi, what's your question? Can we put pictures too? I think you can, but the outline, I mean, the goal for today is not that. When is the deadline? Jigme is also the same. It's before the end of the entire training program. So it's either before the 23rd of September or right on 23rd of September. Okay, Dung Si, can you see my, okay, on my screen, previously, we check a number if it's divisible by 2. Now, for the homework, you have to create something similar to this and check if the number is divisible by 3. So if the number is divisible by 3, you can say the message, the number is divisible by 3. And then else, you can put a message, something like the number is not divisible by 3. Okay? Okay. Okay, Jampet, what's your question?
How can we assign the assignments homework?
Okay, the assistants will let you know later on in the lab session. They've already shown how to do so yesterday, and they will show it again to you today. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I think Ugyen sharing in the chat, when we run, it shows to enter a value, whatever value. If you want to check if the number is divisible by 2, then you enter something even, for example, like 12, 14, 16, and so on. If you want to check if the number is odd, then you enter something like 13, 17, 15. Okay. Okay, Prabhat, this is also the same. The lab assistants will show you during the lab session. All right. There will be time to do so. Okay, don't see school. What's your question? Okay, Pasang Dorji, do we need to enter value in the prompt number? Yes, you have to. Otherwise, the program will not run. Okay, I will repeat the homework one more time, and then we will move on to the next material. So the homework is that you create an if-else statement similar to this with a prompt. So you choose a prompt just like this, and then you check if the number is divisible by 3. So if the number is divisible by 3, then it will print out the number is divisible by 3. Else, you print out the number is not divisible by 3. Okay. Okay, Sonam Gembo, what's your question?
Hello, madam. Hello.
Right, Rixil Wang Di. Okay, var is variable. We did this yesterday. So var is a data type for variable. Prompt number is a function or a method in AppLab that will ask, so right here, that will ask the user to enter a number. Okay, so you can access this from variable, and then it's right here. If you hover, it will show you an explanation of how to use it. Then if you want more information, you can click on examples, and then it will show you on how to use it. Okay. Okay, Jampet, okay, the assignment slide, everything is on the e-learning. The lab assistants will show you. Okay, after this session, the lab assistants will show you and they will help you again. So don't worry about it too much, okay? Okay, Diwas, I will explain it one more time, and then we really have to move on to the next session. Otherwise, you won't be able to have a session with your lab assistants. Okay, is it Pema? Okay, Pema.
Ma'am,
yeah.
in the prompt, it says enter a number, but what if we input something other than number? Will
You
the
can
code
try it
be-
yourself. It will receive something, but does it work? You can try it. Don't worry, you can try it. It will probably be an error. You can try it, okay? We can try it now, Pema. Let's try it together. So let's say I entered A and then I click OK. See, it asks you to give a number again because you didn't enter a number. All right. Okay, Kuen Ken, what's your question? Okay, Tandin Bida, I will repeat again. The lab assistants, there will be a breakout room after this, and then they will show you how to send the homework. Okay, so I will move on to the next material, if that's okay. Okay, the next material is called functions. So the outline is what is a function, why use a function, and then you can define a function, the syntax function, and then calling a function, and we have Q&A after. So a function is a chunk of code or a line of code that you can use over and over again. A function is independent from the rest of the program. It can receive function program. It can also return a value to other functions of other parts of the program. Okay, one of the reasons to use a function when a block of code is used over and over again, it is better to define it as a function and call it in a program. This will then reduce the error while writing the block of code over and over again. And then it saves your work and it can be called many times, especially in a large program. Okay, so I think I will go right away to show you an example because that's usually better. Okay, so I will delete this. So right now, what I'm going to do is create a function that receives an input from the user, and then it will calculate the average, okay? So we do a prompt number for X, and then prompt another number. This is Y, and then another one is Z. Then I will choose console right here. The numbers you entered are, okay, this right here, plus, is we can use to concatenate our string, or we can add on the variable. So we don't have to write whatever number that we entered. So we add X and then we add space using quotation. We add y, we add another quotation, and finally we add z. And then to create a function is right here in right next to variables. We click on function. Then we can choose either this or this. So because we have parameters or we have numbers that we want to use, we drag the second one. Oops. Since I will be calculating average, then my function name will be calculate average. And then we enter the variables here. So x, comma, y, comma, z. So how to calculate an average? So the average of 3 numbers is that you add on 3 numbers and then you divide it by 3. So we can go to math. Oh, sorry, we can go to variable first. And then we go to math, we choose this, add operator. Okay. So is x plus y. Oh, sorry, let me just repeat this. Okay, we have to put the division first. We put 3 here. And then in this empty space, we put the addition. So is x, and then we add, in this empty one, we add another addition. So x plus y plus z. And then we can add.
No, madam. We are stuck on the step 4, madam. We are stuck on the 4th step.
Yeah, I will repeat it again. I'm not done yet. Okay. Then right here, we can print the average of 3. The average is okay. So I will explain again from top to bottom. Okay, please listen carefully. This program that's on your screen, it will prompt the user 3 times for the user to enter a number. And then from these 3 numbers, it will find its average. So if you enter 1, 1, 1, the average will be 1. Okay. After the value or the number has been entered, it will be stored to the respective variable. So the first one will be stored in x, the second one will be stored in y, and the third one will be stored in z. So after the third line here, it will go to the next line or the 4th line. It will display or it will print out to you the numbers you have entered is x, y, and z. Then we have a function definition, which we have to call. So you can see there's a yellow rectangle right here. So if you hover in the, not rectangle, sorry, triangle. On the yellow triangle here, it means there's something wrong with your program. So calculate average is defined, but it's not called in your program. Therefore, we have to call the program. So we call the name of the program, and then inside the bracket, we enter these three numbers, X, comma, Y, comma, Z. Then calculate, calculate average. Then after the fifth line, it will go to the sixth line. So it will receive these variables, will then go into this function, X, Y, and Z. Okay, sorry. It will calculate X, Y, and Z. It will send to the seventh line. So if X is 1, it will be added to Y, which is also 1, and then plus Z, which is also 1, and then it will be divided by 3. Then it will go to the eighth line. The average is, so if you enter 1 3 times, the average will still be 1, right? Then it will be the end of the program. So let's try over here. We reset this first, and then we click run. So let me just enter 10, and then 11, and then 12. Then we can see in the bottom here, the number you entered are 10, 11, and 12, and the average is 11. Okay. Okay, I will repeat one more time on how to do this. So what I did in the beginning is that I declared a variable X. Well, it will receive a prompt from the program to enter a value, and this is done 3 times. So X, Y, and Z. So before, you can see I have 10. 10 is stored in X, 11 is stored in Y, and 12 is stored in Z. And then we go to the fourth line, which displays these 3 variables. So we know the numbers that we enter is 10, 11, and 12. Then it goes to the fifth line, which is the function name. You have to call the function's name in order to use the function. And then you enter your parameters or your input value. So this is from these 3 variables. So it's X, Y, and Z. On the sixth line, so from the fifth line, it goes to the sixth line, which is the function itself. So it receives X, Y, and Z, and then it calculates the average right here. So the average is X plus Y plus Z divided by 3. Then the console prints out the average is whatever number you have, whatever number the function has found. Okay, right. So any questions? You can ask me directly. Okay, Pema Dema, we don't call the function twice, we only call it 1 time. So on the fifth line, this is the calling the function. On the sixth line, this is when you define a function. So you cannot call something that has not been defined, okay? Yeah, Yeshe, Bidak. What's your question?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
why do we have to call the function first before actually naming the function, making
Okay,
the function?
this is a programming convention. This is what I was taught when I was in university. So we can try. So normally what I would do is that I would define it first, because you cannot call something that you haven't defined yet. Okay, it's like you cannot call a person who has not been born yet. Okay, that's the example that I can give you. So let's say if we want to move the 5th line to the last line, okay, we move it here. It doesn't, there are no yellow triangles. So you can also do this. So let's run it again. I will choose a different number now. I will choose 12, 13, and then 15. Okay, the program will still run. So in AppLab, it doesn't matter where you place it. Okay, however, the common programming convention in all languages is that you would define the function at the bottom and then you would call it on top. Okay. Okay, Tenzin and Karma Finley, I will repeat it again. Okay, I will retype everything again. Okay, right. So now we would like to make a program that will receive 3 input number or 3 numbers from the user, and then it will calculate the average using a function. So this is how I would do it. You can also do it in many different ways, but this is, again, this is the common programming convention across all languages. So in the beginning, we would go to variables, and then we will choose prompt number. We drag this to the workspace, and then we drag another one. We rename this to Y because we cannot have 2 variables of the same name. And we drag another one and we rename it as Z. And then we can check the value or the numbers that have been entered using console.log. So we drag this here. And then we create a message. The numbers that you entered are, make a space, and then you choose, you add the variable name. So it's X, and then a space using quotation. Another addition, we use Y, and another quotation. This is just for the aesthetics, so you have a space in between the numbers. And then another one, the final one would be Z. So if I scroll, it's just the variable name at the end. Then before you can call the function, we should define it first. So it's just like what I said before, you cannot call someone who has not been born yet. So it is the same here. You cannot call a function if it's not defined yet. So we have to define it first right here. So this one is just a normal function without any input. And here, this is a function that can receive input. Oh, it has parameters. So right here, we drag this. Since we want to calculate the average, we type this, calculate average. And then here in this bracket right here is your numbers, which is from variable X, Y, and Z. So X, comma, Y, comma, Z. Then we go to variable again. We drag this. So we have a variable that will store the average. I will name this average. And then I will go to the math toolbox here. Then I will choose division first. So you drag division. And then on your right, you enter 3. And then on this empty space right here, you can enter the addition. Since we need to put 3 numbers, then on the second empty space, you drag another addition. So this function will accommodate 3 numbers. Then in this empty space, you enter the variable X, Y, and Z. So now this function will calculate its average. To find out what the average is, we have to show the function. Sorry, we have to show the value of average. So we use console. And then we can make a message, the average is, and then another addition of plus sign, and then you enter the variable name. So the function definition has now finished, has now completed. Then we have to call the function. So we go to the function toolbox again, it's right here. And then to call the function is this one. Call a function with parameters. We drag this to the bottom of the program. This can be called at any time. So you don't have to worry if it's on top of the function or at the bottom of the function. So we call the function name, which is calculate average. You have to make sure that you are calling the same name. So if it's of a different name or you mistyped it, the program will not work. Then in the brackets right here, you put in your number, you put in your variables, X, comma, Y, comma, Z. Okay, so there are no yellow triangles on your side, which means syntax-wise, this is all correct. So we reset again, and then we run. Let's say we enter 1, okay, and then 2, and then 3. In the debug console, the numbers that you entered are 1, 2, and 3, and the average is 2. Okay. Okay, now you can have questions. Okay, Yeshe Bida, what's your question?
What is the difference in prompt, num, and prompt? When I added a value to the prompt num and the prompt, they were both different from each other.
Okay, just you have to use the same one all the time. So if you use just prompt all these 3 times and then you try to add it, it will work because you enter numbers 3 times. But if you mix it, then the program will be upset. So if you just use, hold on, okay, we check here. On my screen, if you hover, prompt the user for a value and store it. So it will store anything. If you use prompt num, it will specifically store number. only. It can only store number. That's why you have prompt num for number. So in this sort of situation, it is advisable for you to use prompt num instead of prompt. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, next question. Right, Jimmy, yeah, your answer is in decimal if it's not divisible by 3, if you get what I mean. So I will show to you again. If I run and if I enter something like 12 and then 13 and then 15, mine will also be in decimal. So it's 13.3333 onwards. So it depends on the number that you are entering, okay? Okay, hold on. Num guy, what are the numbers that you entered? Can you let me know? 1, 2, and 3. Can you see on your formula right here? On the formula, maybe you did something. Maybe it's not, maybe you multiply instead of addition. Can you check? Okay, Kinga Lamo, the end of it is just my, if I scroll all the way to the right, you won't be able to see what's on my left. So if you go all the way to the right, it's just my, it's just the end of the line. Okay, what's the function of console.log? Hold on. Okay, any other question? Okay, Waida, I don't think in AppLab they have any other data type, so it will convert it directly. So if you use float, it will just store it as a float. I will show you now. So let's say we run it again. We enter, let's say 10.5 and then 12.6 and then 13.5. It will still receive the numbers and it will also calculate its average. So you can still use var. Var is for everything in AppLab, okay? If you move on to a different programming language, they might have a float data type.
Miss Dalila,
Yes, Mr. Nim, how can I help you?
may I have the privilege to screen my share? I have to do something with float.
Okay. Bisa. Hold on, let me stop share. Okay, you can try it now.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
If you look at now, see the one you did was little difficult to convince to my kids because they haven't experienced such kind.
Yeah.
I am telling them from a simple perspective of finding percentage of the subjects they attempt in their school.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to do this, but what I found is the float. Actually, the 78.3 to 78 point, in my understanding, there should be point somewhere as float. So, but the float is not appearing in this case, or maybe would you like to see where my code went wrong?
I think it's because you use the normal prompt instead of prompt number.
Oh, prompt num.
Mr. Name, can I share so you can see what I mean? Yeah, right there. You hover it just now. Right under, yeah, that one.
This one.
Yes, that one that you have to use. So when you enter using the normal prompt, it will convert into string.
Okay.
Yeah. So you just use prompt num, so it will accept as float.
Just give me 1 second, please.
Yeah.
I hope it works now.
Okay, enter a score. You should enter something.
Oof.
Hold on, let me check.
Okay. I'll stop sharing this then.
Oh, hold on, Mr. Name. You have to change your variable name. It's all X.
Oosh, sorry.
Yeah, so just Y and then another one, Z.
Yeah. Let me move this up a little bit, okay? Yeah, English is, for instance, 89. Bhutanese are very good in English. This is our national language, and we are quite lagging in this. Oh, yeah. Oh,
There
how
you
come
go.
the percentage is 197.6?
Because you did not do the percentage formula. This is a formula for average.
The average, and what is the now difference between
Okay, so
the total
average,
is divided by 3?
yeah. So if you check on your formula, I think you don't have a bracket from X until Z.
You mean like
So yeah, so I think it calculates with Z. Okay, try it again. Yeah, there you go.
as I told you, English good, our national language? We are lagging behind. Yes, got
Yeah,
it.
there you
Thank you
go.
very much.
Okay, finally, Mr. Nim.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, any other questions?
I would like to pause share.
Okay, Karma Shiwang, you did as I showed you, but as I run it, it's not showing. You may have not used console value. Okay, Mr. Nim, everyone is helping you in the chat box. Okay, any other questions about this? If not, I will tell you the homework for function. Okay, hold on. Mr. Nim, if it's okay, can you stop share instead of pause so I can share my screen? Okay, thank you, Mr. Nim. Right, for your homework, this is the same as what I've shown. You have to prompt to ask the user to prompt a number, 4 numbers, so 4 times. And then you modify the code to calculate its average. Okay, so it will be divided into 4 instead divided by 3. And then the next one is that you can modify the function to find the maximum and minimum value. And don't worry, this part, the second part, the lab assistants will show you how to do it. So there is a math function that will find the maximum number and the minimum number. Okay. Any questions about the homework? Right. Okay, attendance will be shared at the end of the session. So right now, you will go into breakout room. Okay, give me 1 second. My laptop is running out of battery. Okay, sorry, maximum and minimum will be shown to you in the lab. So I will just give you an example. It's also in the math function, in the math toolbox here. So if you click math and you scroll down, there's math.max. So if you hover, this method will receive input and then it will find out which is the highest number. And then you have math.min, it's also the same concept. It will receive an input or several inputs, and then it will find out which one is the lowest number. So this will be shown to you by the lab assistants in the lab session. Yes, for today, Dila, we have 2 assignments. Yeah, we have 2 assignments. So an if else and a function. Yeshe, this is its own programming language in AppLab. So it is unique to AppLab. There are many other programming language which will have the same concept, more or less. So consider programming language like English, or like I'm speaking English. I also speak Indonesian. So you have different structures in different languages. Okay, I think the breakout room has been created. You can choose whichever that you want. The lab assistants will help you, and please don't panic. We will help you to the best of our abilities, okay? Roshni Rai, someone will help you in the lab session. You can just save it here as well. You can rename your project and then it will be saved automatically. Oh, sorry, I forgot. Okay, attendance link will be sent to you at the end of the lab session. So it will be sent in the chat box. And then if you want to save your project, so on your right here, this is still untitled, and then you can just rename. So for today, let's just say coverage. And then you click save, and then this will be saved automatically. Okay, the assignment for today. So the first one was an if-else. The second one is a function program. Is similar to what we have done here. So you create a program that prompts the user to enter 4 numbers and then display the number and calculate its average. And then you modify that function, you add on the math.max and then math.min. So it will find out the maximum number or the largest number based on the 4 numbers that have been entered. And it will also find the minimum number. These 2 methods will be shown to you by the lab assistants. Dawa Norbu, you can submit it today if you want, or you can submit it before the end of the entire training course, which is, the end is 23rd of September. Kelzang, I just showed you how to save. So it's just right here. You can rename the project and then you click save. It will automatically be saved. Pasang Dorji, yes, there are YouTube tutorials, and we also have our own tutorials in the e-learning program. So if you go here, so this is the e-learning course and how it looks like. And then we have our videos right here. And App Lab also have their own channel on how to use it. Okay, I think you should enter the break room right away. So the lab assistants can show you how to do the homework as well. Sharing Dima. Okay, if you want to look, as long as you save your previous project, you should be able to check them. So if you can see on my screen, this is my profile. So we have my projects. You can click on my projects. And then if you scroll down, this is the list of the projects that you have done. Okay. Yeah, Jigme, my session is over. So you can go to the lab assistants. So you can discuss the examples that I've shown you, and they can also help you with your homework. Jigme Ladon. Nggak bisa. Dia raise hand di sini. Oh ya udah. Jigme, what's your question? Okay, sharing Bima, I think the assistant already showed you last time on how to share your project. So I think there's a share button on top. So here, this is a share, and then you can copy link to project, or you can send it directly to a phone, or you can publish it on Facebook, or you can publish it on Twitter. This link is the only thing that we need in order for us to see your project, okay?